All right. Good morning, traders. Welcome to my video journal. Just real quick, this is my accountability tool, I guess, for lack of a better word. I use this to keep myself on track, and also as a learning tool to go back and review and to see how my mindset was, or what my methodology was for entry and exits and whatnot. Highly recommend you do it if you are trying to trade. Another thing too is there are no charts in this video. Can't trade intraday on charts, in my opinion. I've done it, I've tried it, a lot of people have, and a lot of people have failed. You have to watch order flow. There's no other way to do it. Unless you're swing trading, holding overnight, you know, trading penny stocks or trading stocks in general, whatever, then knock yourself out. But if you're in and out of the market the same day, intraday scalping, then there's no other way to do it other than watching order flow, which is what you're seeing here. These are price ladders, order books, depth of market, whatever you want to call them. Quick review, like we'd like to do every morning. From left to right, this is the Ultra Bond, symbol UB. This is ZB, this is the 30-year. T-Bond, this is ZF, which is the 5-year. This is the ZN right here. This is primarily what I trade. This is the 10-year T-Note. And then all the way over here on the right is the S&P 500 E-mini, symbol ES. Don't trade that, just use it as a reference. Typically, it has an inverse correlation with these products over here. So I typically trade primarily the ZN. Every now and then I'll trade the ZB. I've been trading the ZB quite a little bit more than normal, just because the volatility has been so just absent from these products lately that the ZB is kind of acting more like the ZN normally acts, and the ZN just isn't moving. So you can't make money or read order flow or do anything if products aren't moving. So if you want to learn more about this platform, it's called Jigsaw daytradr. I will put a little link up here in the upper right hand corner, but there's also a link in my description. Plenty of YouTube videos on those guys. You can also go to their website. It's a pretty good product. If you buy it, they'll also have lessons on how to use it. I don't really teach you how to use it. I'm assuming you know what you're looking at here, more or less, if you have landed here and have continued watching up until this point. So let's see, what did the overnight do in the 10-year? Just real quick, it looks like we opened down here and just sort of grinded higher, like almost like a trend day. I'll just pull the chart over real quick. This is what I use. Probably the only time I'll look at a chart. This entire video, but you can see it's kind of a trend day. We opened, popped up, used support, popped up, used the support, popped up, used the support. This is exactly what a trend day looks like on a chart. So we popped down. This is the overnight high. Use that as support. And looks like we are starting to move higher, even still. So that's kind of, we're looking at a trend day. Until that changes, that's kind of what we have to go with. We just had the cash open, so we're kind of letting this figure itself out. Try not to engage too much in the first 10 or 15 minutes of cash open, just because, again, there is a correlation between these products, and we don't want to get caught on the wrong side if this is trying to figure out what it wants to do, or until it tries to figure out what it wants to do. As far as the calendar, nothing really there. Let me look real quick. We had mortgage applications this morning, like way down. Previous was negative 3.5. This is almost double that, more than double that, negative 7.3. So people are not really buying homes. At least they're not applying for applications, according to I think it's a trade group. I'll look just for my edification here. Mortgage Bankers Association, yeah. So they're keeping that data. So that ain't good, but that's a week over week number. Tends to be volatile. Take it for what it is. So let's look and see areas of interest here on the 10-year. We have overnight high. We have, this is an area on a chart, on a longer term chart that I looked at last night. These two areas with the 4 R's. This was the initial resistance on a longer term chart, and this was a little bit more resistance if I recall. But it seems to be kind of blew right through that one. And it looks like it's having no problem kind of pushing through this resistance here, so. So take it for what it's worth. I don't really look at long-term charts. I just happened to glance at that last night because I knew that we had broken lower. I think it was week before last. And I had something told me that we'd be pushing back up into some areas of resistance, and I wanted to take a look at it, and that's kind of what I came up with. Just looking at a candlestick chart, not looking at volume profile on a longer term scale, which is, I think, a hell of a lot more reliable. If you are going to look at longer term charts, definitely got to look at volume profile, because that's the real tell. It's not really necessarily the price action. It's where price trades at volume. So areas of interest would be the overnight high, which we actually pulled back to very, very briefly and bid up. That happened just at the beginning of cash open, which I believe we missed the first few minutes of. That's happened on basically on both sides. Happened on the 30-year and the 10-year. Right now, could we be trading this double top? Maybe. We're starting to look at some seller absorption of buying here at 15.5, 15.5. Again, it's a trend day. We have to keep that in mind. That's part of the context. It's been trending all night. And we kind of have to roll with that until we see otherwise. Like getting like a big stall and a lot of resistance at this level would be indicative of otherwise, quote unquote. But again, we got to let this thing figure itself out over here. We're going to have another trend day like yesterday in equities. And that will definitely impact what happens over here. So as of right now, we're just sort of watching. Don't feel, just like my gut feel is I don't feel like I have a good read on what's going on. So I have a feeling it'll be a very high probability setup, whatever I take today. So last thing I want to talk about is just basically I want to kind of outline what I want to work on every day at the beginning of these videos. And yesterday felt like I wanted to work on staying in trades longer, which I did. Just want to pick something every day to kind of key in on, and today is going to be just picking my spots, picking exactly my area of interest and staying right there and not deviating a tick one way or the other. Excuse me. So that will be the theme of the day. But as of right now, just sort of watching. We'll see what happens. If this continues to absorb up here at this level, might look at taking something, but as of right now, we're just sort of sitting on our hands. So I was just watching all these products here as the ES pushed the lows. And they all started to pump up their offers and start to hit down because they were anticipating a turn just like I was, but I was a little slow in the draw here. So I'm about 400 something in the queue. We kind of need the same action. This didn't go anywhere near as high as I thought it would, so probably going to take this off and just reevaluate. Still not getting a really good read on what's going on. Well, it looks like it kind of played out like I thought it would. Still haven't taken out 05. But the ES going higher, putting some pressure on these products. Ultra Bond is down a tick or two. Maybe not. Maybe that looked like a little bit of a trap. Just not a good read. Kind of go back to observation mode. So yeah, we got this big push. ES pushed all the way back up to the VWAP or the mid. Not only have these guys not backticked at all, but it seems like they're getting ready to push it higher. I think this the pullback here to the overnight high in the 30-year was the trade. We might get into a situation where we just it's 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. Pacific time. Did I say the date? No, I don't think I said the date. Today is the 24th. It's a Wednesday, 24th of April, 2019. Yeah, it's about 7 a.m. I think I skipped over that this morning, but I think that was the trade, was when this popped down to the overnight high. So anyway, I think this might just, we might get into a sideways situation where we just sort of start trading this range if this trend doesn't continue. Yeah, there we go. Something just told me that was going to happen. It's definitely looking like a trend day. We popped up, came back to the overnight high, bid back up, pulled back a little bit to resistance, which I think is where it stalled previously, and then it continued higher. I mean, really the only play here is just buy and pullbacks. Basically buying highs. You got to be super quick on that. So one thing to keep an eye on trend days is the amount, the number of ticks that of each push or through the previous high. So in the beginning of a trend, you'll see the push will go through 5 or 6 ticks. And then the next time it'll go through 4 ticks. And then the next time it'll go through 3 or 2 ticks. And then it'll go up and it'll go through 1 tick. And that's just basically buyers sort of wearing, or sellers wearing down buyers as they push through each time. So it's something to keep an eye on, because eventually that's just going to either reverse or just normalize back into a little range. So that push there was only a couple ticks. But that just kind of is an indication or a clue that a trend could be coming to an end. So I'm just marking here, put an SS right there and another one over here. This is just showing me where support is. If this pulls back to this level, that's where buyers would pick it up again, take it up higher. That allows me to get rid of all this noise down here, previous orders. Man, they're pretty aggressive, huh? Little 2-tick pullback in the T-bond. They just eating that right up. Don't want to step in front of that. Although we do have like 28,000 print already at 17.5. It's a pretty decent amount. See if that keeps up. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. Their previous stall was at 06. I'm over here in the T-bond. A previous stall was at 06. You can look at the historical record for orders, and it's pretty well balanced. You have 23, 28. You come up here to 08, and you have pretty decent balance here too, 2,900, 2,800. What you're looking for is something similar to what you see at 09 on a reversal, which is imbalance. So you have a high number, almost double or more than double the number of buy orders and sell orders. That's more indicative of a reversal. In my opinion, this is just my experience. When you see balance already, that means that both buyers and sellers are active at that level. So this is telling me a short is off the table. It's either a long or no trade, especially since ES is pushed all the way up to the highs. It's still pushing the highs, and yet none of these products have sold down at all. They're just waiting for this sucker to drop back in so algos can pop this thing higher, which looks like they're doing already. I think I missed that one. That's order flow right there, reading that. This is going to go higher. Do I want to buy the high? That sounds insane in my head. But that's the only real trade here. Again, not having a good read. You already have 900 on the bid. This would be like buying it and then just pulling one or two tick out at a time. Yeah, I don't know. Not comfortable with that. Little gun shy today, I'm not going to lie. Thought about buying 06, and I didn't. Thought about buying 08. And the longer this goes along, like I said previously, this trend is eventually going to normalize. And this is kind of like the FOMO thing where you get caught. Because I should have bought 6, I should have bought 8. I should have bought 12. Then you end up buying 12 and it drops back in and it just trades between the overnight high. Gets into a range. It's already 720. So we've already missed 2 trades. You can only ride that pony for so long. Kind of to jump on or continue the conversation or the statement I made previously about how high each move goes. Well, we stalled at 08 over here, and we only have, as of right now, 2 ticks higher. We finally pushed through in the 10-year, finally pushed through this huge step here at 17.5. So it looks like we're going to get through that. But how far? Right now it's only 2 ticks, really 1 tick, because you only have 28 or 228 printed up there at 18.5. So then 08 axis support now. So pretty aggressive selling just came across. Saw this 1150 or thereabouts order pop through, and this 12,000 over here. It's pretty aggressive. This could be the turn. Fortunately, we're too far off the top because we're wrong up here at 12 and 19. So that happened pretty quickly. Probably a coordinated effort or a big dog. So is that indicative of, yeah, they're still selling this down. Is that indicative of a trend change? It is about 7:30. Or are we just pulling back to support, which would be about 8. 8, 6 could be support. Overnight high could be support. Buying it back up. So I bought it, but I'm going to pull it off pretty quickly here. I just saw that the ES was trading back, falling back in pretty quickly. A lot of back and forth. Across all products. Clean this up a little bit. Not a fan of continuation trade, but today is the context allows for it. Just need this sucker to go pretty quickly. Don't like that. They just had about 700 or a decent amount trade up. And we are basically wrong at 7. Try to take it off. 8 is kind of optimal entry, I guess. That's not good. These guys are gonna have to hold this level 450 up on the offer. Might have been a little premature on this trade. I'm going to move that up just because we are definitely wrong. I mean, we're not definitely wrong. That's the problem. Could be right at 6. I mean, like I said, this is kind of the time of day when things drop in and start trading back and forth. So this could actually turn into the point of control. It's only about 1,900 contracts off. Yeah, feels premature on this trade, especially with the lack of activity. I saw a lot of pushback initially, and that's what was my kind of basis for entry. Was buyers looked like they were pushing back pretty quickly, but we've already had 900 trade up. Look at that, 1,000. They tried to lift the offer, couldn't do it. Give us a little while longer. That's not good. It's down to 17. We could try to scratch this, but I don't know if we'll get there. I mean, really, 8 is support, but yeah, look at that, 500 up. Premature for sure. I mean, I could definitely see this dropping all the way in. I don't want to lose 3 ticks on this. That's falling in. That's falling in 2 ticks over here. This is not good. So basically 8 is support in the T-bonds, 16.5 is support in the 10-year. But it's just like this is kind of unrelenting over here, which gives me, I think this is going to trade right through me. Or at least down to 06. Man, what a bummer. Damn. Look at that. Yeah, we're fucked. Might as well just take it off right here. Okay. Don't like that trade, and that's exactly why. Like I said, that trend is eventually going to stop trending, and it did. Kind of talk myself into a loser there. So we'll kind of wait for this to see where it settles out. Look for it to a little bit of a back and forth. And I can almost guarantee it'll trade right back up to 6 or to my entry at 9. I just didn't feel comfortable sitting in that because obviously there's the option of this falling all the way back in, and that's just unacceptable. So quick review. Had a trend day. They're tough to trade. Had overnight high was an area of interest. We missed that trade. It just briefly came down and popped right back up. Then we just sort of watched it grind higher. And when it did actually turn, I saw it. But with the context, with the trend day, the only real trade was the long. And it was probably just a little premature on that. So we took a loss. It happens. What are you going to do? But that's that. And we will see you mañana.